and I'll never back down. In the middle of the ring is where I lay the smack down. Against all odds, I will always prevail. So when you step to me, it's like hell in a cell.
Greetings and salutations, this is Christopher Daniels. I'm talking to my main man Delzinski right now. Any video game show, any video game channel, any YouTube channel called Vintage Shizzle is indeed hashtag Daniels approved.
Yo, alright guys, Delzinski here. Welcome to another We Talk Weekend. And I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Smack Talks. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, man. How's you?
I'm alright.
You alright?
Yeah, not too
Are you
bad.
sure? It doesn't sound it.
Well, I've had a bit of a long and rather irritating week, and something happened prior to We Talk, which has really kind of... Basically, I have been, how can you say it? I've been screwed over, like Montreal, like Bret Hart, by iMovie, if that makes any sense in the slightest.
Uh-oh. What's been happening?
So basically... And obviously, this is why I think I might as well just get this off my chest before we start We Talk this week. So basically, before I come on We Talk, I was editing Main Event, and iMovie decided, as I said, to screw me over, like the Montreal screw job, by like losing my project. So,
Oh, no way.
So yeah, basically, like have no Saturday Night Main Event at the moment without like doing it all again. So I have the clips, but like the whole edit is gone. So obviously we're recording this Friday night. So We Talk goes live Saturday. So I have like a day, less than a day to rectify it.
Oh, that's a nightmare. You're going to be up all night?
Yeah, so, you know. And this is like last time this happened, 'cause it's only happened twice. Last time it happened, I just basically... I found this little guide online, managed to recover the file, but I've tried it and I can't. So
Nightmare.
I know, it's literally screw job, yeah.
It is. You've been screwed over again.
So I don't know. It will get done. I'm pretty confident it will get done, but it's just, you know, it's one of those things where you spend ages working on something and then you're like, damn it. I probably said a lot more harsher things than damn it.
I was going to say, I could imagine you saying a little bit more than that.
Yeah, there's been a few swear words. There is no embracing the power of positivity from this point forward.
I'm sure you will, though. I'm sure you'll get there in the end. You're like John Cena, you never give up.
Oh, man, you just compared me to John Cena. What's
You
wrong with
compare yourself to Cena and use these lines all the time.
Only because I'm the champ, of course.
Well, there you go. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, I'm the champ.
You've just, like, used another one of his lines.
The champ is here. I could do it really loudly, but I thought best not. Didn't want to ruin anyone's like eardrums or anything like that.
Can't lose your voice either. You've got a lot of commentary to do now.
Yeah, that's the worst bit. So I'd done 3/4 of the commentary, and it crashed mid commentary on the like last segment, really, and then just completely blew out.
Oh, no way.
Totally sucks.
I feel good for you now.
So you should. So, yeah, obviously, starting We Talk this week on a rather not so great note. I mean, please feel sorry for me, We Talkers. Show me some sympathy. And, yeah, hopefully we get it going. And Main Event will go live Saturday, as per usual.
The show must go on.
It must. And obviously, We Talk must go on. So what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. Rather a lot going on, to be honest with you, and some real positives, I think, in terms of the way that WWE is going forward. Maybe not John Cena in the Main Event, but there's better things than that.
But you're a Cena fan, you've just admitted it, with all these lines.
They never said I was a Cena fan. Who said I was a Cena fan? Oh, you're mistaking me for weeds right now.
Who else uses all these lines if you're not a fan?
No, I adjust his lines. I make them better than what they were.
You've just said the champ is here.
Because the champ is here. I'm here.
You didn't adjust that, did you? You should have adjusted the chump is here.
No. Again, are we mistaking me for weeds? What's going on? Come on. God, you're throwing out all the insults. It's not made me feel much better today.
Well, you always complain about it anyway, so you're used to it.
Oh dear, oh dear. I think we need to be finding a new representative, someone that doesn't. Oh, Eva Marie. We should get Eva Marie on the show.
I'll have words with her. I'll see if I can get on.
She might put you in a headlock.
Just think though. Oh, I'll never get out of it, will I? Just think though, when you've got all this done, you can just kick back, relax, put on one of your VHS tapes, just enjoy the night.
I want on my submission sorority ones.
Exactly, you've got that to look forward to.
Oh, they are good. I'm going to lend you one, and Elle, and anyone else that wants one. As I told you, which was the classic that I said? Charlotte's Flair. That's the one.
That sounds interesting, that does.
It's a keeper.
It's a keeper, you're not lending that one then?
You can borrow it if you like.
I'll see.
So, I mean, yes, that's enough of this random rantage. We are going to get back on topic, and we're going to talk about Raw. I don't think I even covered the rundown very well. So, obviously, I said we're going to talk about Raw, but we're going to talk about GFW as well, versus TNA. And it actually sounds better if you do say it like that, GFW versus TNA, as opposed to TNA versus GFW, because it actually begins to feel like GFW is the main show now. So that's a bit worrying for me.
It is. I'm sure it's worrying for all of TNA's audience as well.
Yeah, it should. So we'll talk about that a bit later on. Jeff Jarrett's all over that shizzle. And last but not least, something that you told me about. I didn't know too much about it, to be honest, but Chyna's back.
Well, she's not really back.
Well, she's
back in the news.
She'd probably make the submission sorority VHS as well, to be honest.
Should be like headline it, wouldn't you?
Oh dear, I'm not sure I want to watch that one, to be honest. But there you go. Yeah, so we're going to talk about Chyna because apparently she's been, she's been accused of things that she hasn't done by the sounds of it. But we'll talk a little bit about Chyna because I do feel a bit sorry for her from time to time as well.
I do. Like whenever you see something that she's done now, because she's got her own YouTube channel, so she started that quite a while ago, and I was one of the once I started watching the first videos, and I thought I'd subscribe to it and see what she was saying, because at the time she was kind of ranting about Stephanie and Triple H, and she hadn't really let it go. You could kind of tell that from the videos she was putting out, and there was a lot of people that were really making fun of her, because if you watch the videos, you can see how much of a mess that she's in. And I was just sitting there watching the thing, and I feel really, really sorry for her. You can tell how much distress she's in, and in such a bad place. And she really needs someone to reach out and just kind of help her.
Yeah, she did get someone though to reach out. Do you know who she got?
Who did she get?
Vince Russo. So if you're ever in need and you need some help, you really don't want Vince Russo extending the hand. To be honest with you, I mean,
it's the worst person you could possibly get.
He's just going to ring up David Arquette. He's going to bring his world championship with him, and it's all going to go wrong.
It is. That's not what you want, is it?
Exactly. So, we'll talk about Chyna in some detail a little bit later on, but let's get back to, I think this is actually, we're turning a corner because we are going down the route of the power of positivity right now, because we'll be talking about my favourite superstar and really the superstar of the future, and I think definitely keep this push going on and on and on. And if you've seen SmackDown, you might kind of get what I'm saying when I keep saying on and on and on in reference to Seth Rollins. But I'm talking about Cesaro, because Cesaro is the man at the moment. Everything he does is awesome. Every week I see him, he's inventing new moves. He's getting stronger on the mic. He's looking the part, suited and booted. There is nothing that Cesaro can do wrong, in my opinion.
I have to agree with that opinion as well. He looks like he's really enjoying what he's doing at the minute. He's all suited up, as you've just said. He's got all these fans there, all out throughout the arena in the C section, or Cesaro section.
That's even better. That whole was it true? Is this true? Was it a fan that printed off 7,000 Cesaro signs and gave them to the rest of the crowd, or is it actually a WWE plan?
I would probably say it was a WWE plan. I don't know if a fan would do that unless he's a big fan.
Maybe it was me.
Maybe. Can you not remember?
No, I've had such a bad week. Then
you have.
I can't remember anything. To be perfectly honest with you, can't remember what day it is today. Don't even know what we're talking about.
Well, I'm no use.
But yeah, I mean, Cesaro's just been great. I watched his match with Neville and Owens. I think he's complemented very well with the guys he's paired up with at the moment, because Neville can sort of do it all. Not Neville, sorry, I've got that completely wrong. I'm talking about Orton. Yeah, I'm getting muddled up with SmackDown. I told you I'd lost the plot.
I was going to say Orton can do it all.
Just completely lost the plot. Well, yeah. Well, Orton is getting a bit of a re-energized run at the moment, which is very, very nice considering who he's paired up with. I think him and Cesaro have good chemistry.
They do. They work well together. Like, I was kind of surprised though that Orton did go over and got like that title shot on Raw. I thought it was a good opportunity to put Cesaro or Owens there.
Yeah, but would you have liked it if they got there? Because if they got there, then we would have had an issue if one of them had lost.
Well, we would have, but we had an issue with Neville losing last week. And yet, at the same time, we're all talking about how amazing he was and like how he is one of these future superstars. So if we had a like, great match like that, then I wouldn't be complaining. I'd be complaining if Sheamus did come in the same way, though, and like attacked him. But I think that was more to do with the fact he was taking on Randy Orton. Like, it kind of played into what they've been building over the last couple of weeks, well, months.
Well, that's why I got a bit confused with it, because on SmackDown, we had Owens and Rollins, and we had Neville and Cesaro. And that, again, was just exceptional. Like, everything about it, it's so fast-paced. I actually thought, obviously with Tyson Kidd being out, Cesaro and Neville made a fantastic tag team. They were like, the contrast, again, of the speed and then the power, it worked really well. And Cesaro was putting so many different moves. He's flying off the top rope now.
He's a high flyer now.
I know.
Like, on Raw, he was over the top rope as well, and outside. I couldn't believe it.
It's just, and it's really good actually watching Owens and Rollins with a little bit of interaction, because Owens is still coming across as the master heel, like Rollins is still cowardly. But if on SmackDown, I think Cesaro dumped Rollins over the top rope with a power slam, and actually as he like threw him. Owens just ducked out the way. He was like, I ain't catching that shit. and then he tried I think Cesaro tried something else, and again Owens just ducked out the way. So it was good to see two heels like not even willing to like work together as well. I think the whole chemistry between those four is really good and really positive for the future. Obviously my worry is that who could become champion come SummerSlam, that would devalue a fair bit of pushing from these guys, in my point of view. But I will say as well, was it not the slowest cash-in that you've ever seen?
It was really, really awkward, I thought. Because you could tell that Sheamus was delaying, because he was giving the briefcase to the referee and he wouldn't let go of it. He was kind of pulling it back. And you could see that from like the angle that they had it on. It just looked really awkward until eventually like Orton like got it in the ring and goes to hit him with an RKO.
What you were like anticipating was like Sheamus pretty much just turning around, just screaming "RKO me," because it was like it was taking so damn long to get that segment together. I liked the way Sheamus hit the ring. I thought it was so impactful that it would have made sense him cashing in. But I actually think we're going to get a cash in at SummerSlam. Over John Cena, and that will enable is a feud to spark between Sheamus and Cena and open up that a bit more, so Rollins can kind of you'll have like the chase, not with Bradley Walsh, but you will have like a chase with Cesaro, Kevin Owens, Seth. You'll have all of them. You'll have all of them trying to get to that title spot, and obviously you'll have Cena in the mix as well.
I think so. The only thing I would say though is another title reign for Cena if he does win. Then if he gets cashed in on, loses
that'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
It's not what you want to see when he's getting like close to breaking Ric Flair's record.
He equals it, doesn't he? This time
he do. If that's what I mean. If he wins the title, he equals the record. So if he loses it straight away, then that's another cheap one, isn't it?
That's the thing I'm really worried about, to be honest with you. I don't want him to even level Ric Flair's championship record at the moment. I feel that's why he hasn't had the world title for some time. I think there's a few in there that think he shouldn't get that yet. But
well, that's what I mean though. Like,
it's inevitable. It will happen.
It is inevitable. It will happen at some point. But if you think that these like last I don't know how long it is now, probably like a year and a half that he hasn't had the title. Mm-hmm. Well, keeping him off the title for that long because of that reason, because you're wary of him getting so close to it. The last thing you want to do is then waste that time by giving him the title and lose it straight away. Surely, if you did give him the title, it would be like a long, meaningful run. Otherwise, it's just another cheap one that goes towards it.
Well, maybe it's going to just be a steal then from, maybe Cena's about to win. Sheamus comes in, cashes in, steals it from Rollins. Maybe
Could
it's
he
going to be
cash
that way.
in during the match, make it into a triple threat, just like Rollins did?
He could, but that's a bit samey, isn't it? I wouldn't see WWE going down the exact same route as what they've already done previously. Maybe it's not going to happen at SummerSlam, but it feels like something big's got to happen at SummerSlam on the basis that I think they've increased. It's a longer SummerSlam than normal? Feels like
4 hours show, I think.
Yeah, it feels like something's got to give. And looking from the outside, it kind of looks like there isn't anything that I think is gonna like explode, sort of thing. I don't think it feels like there's anything that could be like, whoa. Even if Taker beats Lesnar, Lesnar beats Taker, I don't think that's anything shocking either way. I think we kind of anticipate that it could go either way. So then the main event's got to have some sort of epic twist, or we've got to have someone come in. Is Sting going to be there? Could that be something that happens? I'm looking, I'm fishing, I want something, but I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Well, one thing I would say is if you'd watched Tough Enough, and I know you don't really watch it, but John Cena was a special guest this week.
That's probably why I didn't watch it.
And he debuted a new look t-shirt and hat combination. However, the big thing about this one, not the colour, like it's orange, if you were wondering, but on the back of it, it's got 15 times for World Championship reigns. So why would you debut that t-shirt saying you're a 15-time World Champion if you were set to win the title this weekend?
Well, why would you debut a new t-shirt when we know we've got a new game coming out soon and you've completely ruined the freaking game again?
But I'm sure like there's been a problem with like marketing or something, and they've said like, yeah, here's your new t-shirt, and they haven't like cleared it with like the people in charge. Because why on earth would you give him that t-shirt if he then goes on to win it? Because think of the amount of people that'll be wanting a refund.
Yeah, well, I think they'd switch it easily enough, but like you say, then the people that bought the merch are screwed, and that 9 times out of 10, these things, I don't really understand how they do, but they do sell like hotcakes, so I don't get how they do, to be honest. But
it could be like the CM Punk one, where it was like a one night thing, and then originally like the one only doing it for the one night, and they brought it back. But with this one, you can't really do it unless you just update the number. So I guess it's kind of like a special thing if you get the 15 one, but at the same time, it's out of date.
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't know. That surely there's an explanation for that, because they can't be that obvious. Do you know? That seems too obvious to give that away. Surely someone covered that and watched, you are aware we got 15 on the bat and he's going to be winning it, or you are aware that he's not going to be winning it, but that kind of gives away the bloody result. So,
well, that's the thing though. It's like kind of, they're telling me now, like the 15 means that he's not going to win the title, or they're like deliberately trying to throw off, because we'll see that and think, oh well, there's no way he's going to win it, but he is.
Do you know what it would make me think? It makes me think that he's going to win it. To be honest with you,
it does kind of give you that impression, though, doesn't it?
Because a lot. I mean, I think you think going into SummerSlam, Rollins' reign's got to come to an end at some point. Can you see Rollins clearing up both belts because both are on the line? I know we've gone like full into SummerSlam here, but both titles are on the line now. Cena's not going to drop that US title, I don't think.
Well, it's really hard to try and like work out what's going to happen, though, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know.
It's a strange main event.
It's like if Rollins wins, then fair enough. If he becomes like US champ as well, like it's a big thing for him. Like it kind of like gives him something to like, I don't know, kind of emphasize his title reign, because it hasn't been great. But at the same time, it's usually Cena that has these first. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was the person that become like the first US and WWE champion at the same time.
And if Sheamus cashes in, does he get both?
Well, that's the other thing I was going to mention. If he does cash in and he wins it, then he would like obviously win the 2 titles, wouldn't he?
Would he win 2 titles though? Because it's only for the world title.
Well, you could say that. I think that might be a good way to get around it.
So maybe he cashes in and gets the world title, and then Rollins and Cena scrap him for the United States?
Could be, unless like the match just ends or it goes to like a second fall.
It's weird, isn't it? There's so many like, it's not clear at the moment what the hell's going on. So it makes it interesting because it adds that surprise element, that shock factor. If you were betting, you'd find it hard at the moment to really find a way to kind of work out exactly what's going to happen. Yeah,
I think if that was the case, I think Sheamus cashing in and winning just the WWE title would be a good way to get around it. Because I don't think it'll like do anything if you give like one person 2 titles. One of them's just not going to get defended. And we always complain about Nikki not defending her title. The last thing you want is someone with 2 titles and one of them doesn't get defended.
Oh, speaking of Nikki, we need to... I'll leave a link in the description box below to a video I sent today. Oh, it's so good.
I've seen it.
It's freaking good, isn't it? It's well funny.
It is, but I don't know, your version, like now, that's like the main version, isn't it?
Well, come on, Nikki!
There you go. You can't beat that.
It's horrible, isn't it? It makes me feel a bit ill.
That's why I hear now every time I hear like ringside, it's just your version in my head. Just replaces it.
She goes up like serious, like every time she said it like 30 times.
I'm sure like she knows it annoys people, so she just does it even more.
It's funny though, is it? I think in that video, I'll link it in the description box below, and it's like someone like kicks Brie in the face when she's on the outside. It's like, but Brie wasn't done, and then she comes back with an even louder, "Come on, Nikki!" God, someone needs to just like stop her being a cheerleader. Actually, to be honest, she has kind of stopped. She's wrestling more now.
Well, she is. Are you happy about that?
I think she's doing a bit better. Yeah, I think she's actually kind of showing she can wrestle. So she's done a pretty good job. Find the whole kind of moving into the women's section a bit more, kind of going towards another Charlotte Sasha feud by the looks of it. Do we want that?
I wouldn't mind it. I think they're putting great matches. So it'll be better than what we've seen with like Brie and was it Brie and Charlotte the first couple of matches where we said like she looked a bit sluggish, Brie compared to NXT women?
I still think she finds it. I still think there's that gap, like we've talked about before, that they find it so difficult to bridge. Like you've got the NXT women that put it all in, and then you've got the divas, so to speak, that struggle to put it all in. There's still that like kind of fluffy, can't really clatter me because I can't do that. So I actually think Nikki Bella does put it all in. I think she's willing to get like proper knocked about. That sounds dodgy, but I think she's willing to fight a lot more than maybe her sister. I think Brie still struggles with it.
Yeah, I think Nikki is like all in now for it. So I think that Brie's probably coming up to like speed now that she's had like a couple of matches. And if you think she hasn't really had a match on TV for like quite a while leading up to it, like she has just been that cheerleader role. So maybe you can kind of forgive her for that. But I think going forward, once they kind of get used to working together, I think we'll be in for like some great matches. But I think there's just going to be a point where you get kind of sick of all these like 6 women big tag team matches and things. You kind of just want to say 1-on-1. And I think that's the only thing that I'm kind of a bit worried about, that they kind of overdo that. But they are talking about bringing in maybe a Divas Tag Team Championship.
Oh, really?
So we could see something like that, and that kind of switches hands. But we've also got like a singles match at the same time, which I think might work better.
Do you not think at the moment, I'm going to throw you a question here, do you not think that the NXT Women's Championship is being a bit devalued by all of this stuff?
It is, but I think...
Does it feel like we have a women's NXT division at the moment? Ish.
Well, that's 2 questions. You asked about the title and now the division.
Go on.
So I would agree with both of them, though. I would say that the title itself is being devalued because you don't really see it on like the main TV. So I think the best thing to do is for Sasha to drop it to Bayley. I think it's Bayley she's taking on a takeover. So like that would kind of solve that problem. But then again, when you have like Bayley left in NXT, like I know Charlotte and people have still been down there wrestling, But once they like transition fully to the main roster, you're left with people like Eva Marie. So there's not much of a women's division in NXT now that there's been like so many taken to the main roster.
Do you know, I'm kind of backing if you were going to put Bayley as the champ, because she's obviously ultimate kind of face. I mean, you have got obviously Emma, who could do quite a good job. I think she's done really well as a heel down there. But I do think Alexa Bliss is like looking really good.
Well, she is, but like she's aligned with Blake and Murphy.
Yeah,
so
they do my nutting, to be honest with you.
Well, they give you a seizure when they come out with like the flashing lights and everything.
I know. I mean, yeah. I'm not sure about them, but yeah.
It's not too bad though when you think of that though, because you've got like Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Dana Brooke. So there's still like a couple of people down there that can wrestle and put on great matches, and I think we'll probably see more from them now that like the other girls have moved up the main roster.
I think you've got really good personalities down there, but they're very, like, you haven't got anybody that kind of owns it like Sasha does. Like she kind of, and for that as well, like Charlotte in a different way, and Becky Lynch kind of owned it in her own kind of crazy kind of way. I think you're lacking that one that just kind of completely takes control. I think Bayley's got a really good gimmick, but she's not, she's not your sort of, well, she's not a heel obviously, but she doesn't kind of just stamp her authority, which a champ should. I think she'd be a Sami Zayn style champ, and let's be honest, Sami's reign as NXT champ didn't go awfully well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I love Sami Zayn, but it was a bit of a flawed. After all that effort to get it there, it's never really culminated in anything.
Well, that is the thing though. That's when you've got like a face champ, you kind of do get reigns like that, where the heel champs they kind of embrace it more and they can get more of a reaction from the crowd. So sometimes like a face champ doesn't really work too much. I know like Chris Jericho had like said on Tough Enough that every time he won the championship, he was a heel at the time because he got the best reactions then, and that was when they would give him the title. So he never actually had a face run with the championship. You
have to be almost that ultimate face that can be like a Rock who was a face. But, I mean, he didn't really ask to be a face. If you think about it, when The Rock was always a heel, The Rock always called himself the people's champ. And, he wasn't, but he was. And when he became face, it just kind of became, well, he is the people's champ. And The Rock had that mentality that regardless if they cheer or boo, I'm still sticking by my guns. I'm still saying, for the millions and the millions of The Rock's fans. And, you need someone like that who can kind of just walk their way through it, being a face. Your Austins do the same sort of thing. Don't think we've really got anyone that, like a Sami Zayn character, doesn't have that. Like, he doesn't have that. We've never seen him as a heel, to be honest, but I don't think you'd have it. If that makes sense. Yeah,
I kind of agree with that.
It's just that mentality where you have a superstar who can just kind of own it. It's difficult. I don't know. He's looking a little bit kind of thin down on NXT at the moment. If you think about it, I mean, we've got guys like Joe down there. I think he's going up against Baron Corbin at the moment, but Joe's really not. I was expecting Joe to do a lot more, to be honest with you. Finn Balor obviously is still the man, but hoping this Brooklyn event gives us some more interesting stuff going down.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like a transition period at the minute because we've seen like so many people transition to the main roster. It's just kind of rebuilding NXT back up.
Yeah, well, let's see. I guess this is how it's going to happen. You've got to let go to let these guys go up. So it's interesting. I like it. It's nice to see the development of people moving up and down. I still really want to see Enzo, Big Cass, and obviously Carmella make a move up because I think they'd be wicked on the main roster.
I think they're like a team where it's got like a couple of different elements to it. So it's always good when you get like someone come up like that. You've got like the big guy, the small, more athletic guy, and then you've also got Carmella and there's the manager. So it's something a bit different to what we see, and I think they do well on the main roster.
How do you spell soft?
Don't test us. SW.
Inside joke.
It's an outside joke I think everyone knows now.
It was pretty funny though, to be honest.
I meant it. It was just creating a talking point. That's all it was.
I'm gonna spell it out for you. That was a big Cass impression. It wasn't a very good one, but there you go.
I thought you were just doing an impression of me spelling it out for you.
Yeah, I could have been.
Sounds as good as I did.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of went off a bit, but in terms of the women, back on track. I kind of beginning to agree with you, to be honest. Having these what's this going to end with? What are we building towards? Because we keep having these 6 matches and these teams, but what's going to happen? I feel Paige has been lost in the mix completely.
She kind of has. She's took a backseat role in it, but I don't know. I think that's probably the best case for it because we've seen so much of Paige. It is kind of time to give the other people the spotlight. Otherwise, we're just going to get what we've got for the last couple of months, where it was Paige and Nikki constantly.
Would I sound a bit harsh to say that I found Paige a bit annoying of recent?
In terms of
just I've never not really liking where the gimmick went with her. I didn't like how she went into being a weird, the weird character when she went for her AJ Lee path, and then obviously coming into now, I still feel like obviously the Tough Enough stuff's all made her into a bit of a different being of what she was meant to be.
Yeah, I kind of agree with
harsh,
that. But I think Tough Enough has kind of shown that side of her. It's probably just the way that she's acting on the show. But she doesn't come across great. We've said this before. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't fit the character that we're seeing on TV. And now it's kind of changing a little bit because of that. Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Great wrestler, has a good persona. Obviously looks very different. But it's just, I don't know, as of late, I've found myself thinking, I don't know, there's only so much This Is My House and stuff you can really think, where are we going to go at some point? She should be a lot better than what she is. Not in terms of her wrestling skills, but she should be doing a lot more, I think. She's kind of, as I say, getting lost in the mix of the championship at the moment. The only one I see really that should really take down Nikki Bella, too, is Sasha or Charlotte. That's what I think.
I think it'll probably be Charlotte. I can't see Sasha winning it because, will I have the NXT title anyway? I think Charlotte's the person that's kind of made for. And
that's the feud, though, isn't it? The 2 belts. That'll be it. You could never, she'd be the NXT champ. She'd be like, I took this from you, now I'm going to take that. That's your feud.
Yeah, that going forward, that is probably the best way to go about it. But if you watched Raw, Charlotte, I think it was Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte had a video package for her, and one of the things that she said is it's the time for women at the moment. She talked about Ronda Rousey and main eventing the UFC stuff. And she says, to her, she's not content with being a diva. Her goals are to main event WrestleMania, and she believes that she can actually do that. She's not going to let anything hold her back. So
she can probably. To be fair,
that's where she kind of wants to go with it. I think it could be a long way off that we see something like that. I don't know if Vince being in charge would allow that.
I don't think Vince being in charge could allow that.
But I think there is a case for it being made where people like Charlotte, who can put on a fantastic match, will get a match in the upper card of WrestleMania.
Well, I would think that Sasha versus Charlotte is a good enough WrestleMania match as long as they don't give it away too early.
Well, I think so. I think it is that NXT match. It's got to be that NXT style and not the Diva style. But doing that on a WrestleMania, getting the crowd reaction that you do in NXT, but on a huge scale, I think that would be an incredible match to watch. And with that reaction, it would just really make it.
Well, you can see the appreciation anyway of what's happening at the moment. They're stepping up with the women's wrestling. I mean, I remember watching it before. Obviously, we had all this sort of, revolution. It was really dry, man. People weren't getting into their matches at all. It was and I'm going to just say it. Even when AJ Lee was there, people weren't really just going crazy for these matches. They weren't awfully interested in anything that was going on because it was just not interesting. It didn't keep you entertained regardless of who it was. But now they have got your interest because they actually are being given 15 minutes, have a good match. And I think to myself, this is the moment, and they are kind of trying to capitalize on it. And if they keep pushing it forward, why shouldn't it challenge for the big events?
Absolutely. I think there is a time where it's coming. I think we'll obviously get like a main event on Raw and stuff first, but it's good to see that that's like what they're aiming for, and they're not just going to be content with like a Divas match on Raw or 2 Divas matches on Raw. Like it's great to see them actually aiming for more, and I think there'll definitely be a point where they get that.
Pretty sure TNA have had a women's main event on their main show before.
I think so. Well, they've had like pay-per-views as well, haven't they?
Yeah, so TNA have done it quite well. TNA had such a good women's roster, they really messed that up as well. If you think about it, they have got quite a good one now. Taryn Terrell's like, yeah, good gimmick, just for like all the wrong reasons, but you know.
They've got a good roster, but it's just not the same as it was. Like, I still don't think it's as good as it used to be.
It's definitely not.
Even with Kong back, like it's not the same as it was before.
But she's not really like as powerful as what she used to be. I think Taryn Terrell's actually a really good wrestler. I think they to go out of why I think that gimmick's good. They've just gone for the obvious with her, like flaunting her assets and stuff. You know, she's much better than that. She's a good wrestler. So the way she lost the belt as well, I think she did what Nikki won't. I think she was going to be like the longest reigning Knockouts champion. I think she got dropped by like a week or something like that. I think Gail Kim still holds that, possibly.
I think so. I think you're right, yeah.
Someone will say I'm probably wrong, but a bit disheartening to go that far and then have it snatched away from you, maybe.
It is, but that's kind of what I'm hoping happens with Nikki. I don't want to say I'd like take over AJ's reign because she really hasn't defended this title much at all.
Yeah, but her sister's been cheering her on. Come on!
For what? In non-title matches?
I would like 1 week on We Talk to get all the We Talkers to submit their own version of Come On Nikki.
That would be amazing. Could you imagine like putting that all together?
It would be fantastic. Yeah, maybe we do that. I mean, let's see what the comments are like. If we get like 10 Come On Nikkis, then we might have to do it. Just 10 comments saying Come On Nikki. Go for it, guys. Get involved.
Could you imagine live shows if everyone got involved though?
Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
How amazing would that be?
Come on, Nikki, from like the entire audience of WrestleMania.
That's what you want. That'll give her the motivation.
Texas, yeah. That would give her motivation. I'm not sure what it'd do for Brie. He might blow her head off. But I mean, yeah. Divas wise, it's looking positive. I wouldn't mind seeing Charlotte versus Sasha again. I don't think it disappoints really. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Sasha and Becky again as well. So I'm open to all those. Let's have a quick chat about the Arrow, the Green Arrow. Now, I've actually got Green Arrow on DVD to watch, but
you haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet. So
any of it?
No.
What?
Yeah, I know. So, you know, I'm not too clued up on it, but what I will say from what I saw of him on Raw was I actually thought, you know, this guy moves better than some of the current WWE talent. And I think as well, to boost him even more, his promo with Triple H about, you know, getting the deal done and getting it ready was even better. This guy's good. What's his name? Chris? Oh, yeah, I'm wrong note.
Stephen Amell.
That's the guy. I'm not sure who I was looking for with Chris. Who could I have been looking for?
Who's Chris?
Chris Rock.
Man, everyone hates Chris.
Oi. Hulk Hogan might hate Chris Rock after. Did you see the tweet? I think I showed you the picture, didn't I? Straight out of Compton.
I did, but I can't remember it.
Yeah,
I can remember it now. Yeah,
there's no issues of me saying this anyway. Hulk Hogan obviously had his race issues, and you know, and we've got this like, is it a meme going around? Meme?
Well, it's the Dr. Dre album, Straight Outta Compton. So everyone's like photoshopping things to be straight out of Summit.
Yeah, and basically, Chris Rock decided to tweet his version of it was a picture of Hulk Hogan, and it was straight out of Black Friends. So yeah, it's kind of true, but actually, to be honest, it's not really. Hulk Hogan has been doing a full media run with any of his old friends that he can possibly find. Like he's been like hanging around with Mike Tyson. Every time I see him, he's trying to promote something. So I think he's well over this issue that he's had.
I think so. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Just kind of brush it away and hope it just goes away. I
think he's done it. I know people will still give him a bit of stick, but I think he's done quite a lot of tidying. damage control.
He has. He's handled it pretty well, and like a lot of people seem to be like coming around to saying like, it was at a bad time of his life. It was like 6-7 years ago.
So, but what did you think of the Green Arrow?
I thought it was awesome. Like being a big like Arrow fan, like I kind of knew going into it that he was one of these people that would like really put his like heart and soul into it, and like be dedicated to go through like training and things like that. Because when you eventually watch the show, you'll see like how good shape he's in, and like all the moves that he can pull off, and like the training that he does in Arrow, it's actually him doing it. So when you see all that and you think him getting into like the wrestling side, there was no doubt in my mind that he was actually going to go through with all the training, learn the moves, and although we didn't see that yet, I think it's SummerSlam, that's what we're going to see. So we're seeing him hop the barricade, like springboard over the top rope. So even that was just awesome. And then like takedown on Stardust. So I thought it was like awesome the way they've done it. I think it's really like set up for SummerSlam. And then if you follow him on Twitter, you'll see that he's been posting like pictures of him going through like wrestling training. So he's been on the top rope hitting moves off that. So I think there's like all kinds of things that we could expect from him. I think you're putting on a really good show. And being a tag team match, it's not like the emphasis is all on him. So we've got Neville in there as well. So I think it'll work out well. I think it'll be a good balance.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm not always keen on these whole, like celebrity tag matches or any sort of celebrity matches. But actually, when you see someone who can actually move and has got a bit of ability behind them, it doesn't matter. Then it's kind of all right. If the guy's dedicated to want to do it, then it works. It's when you've got these guys that aren't really, David Arquette.
Exactly. Well,
sum it up.
What can you say?
Someone that can't physically move isn't really in it just for a bit of fame. Whereas on the other hand, or just a fan, if you're just a fan, that's great. But if you can't really do anything in the ring, to be put in a match is a lot to be asked. And obviously in this instance, it's not. It's the way he bounced up on the apron, jumped over, and then I think he almost did like a spear sort of takedown. It was like, yeah, man, go for it. And then obviously, like I said, Triple H held his own with God. So here's to Chris.
Well, there you go. Chris is dedicated. And like when you get a backstage segment like that, it's not going to be like awful acting that you get like with some wrestlers. Like being an actor, like he knows what he's doing. So like, it's believable, and like he does a really good job of it. And I think it all comes together really well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the match. Actually, I really think it'll be a good one.
Is it just me, or doesn't anyone else just like love Triple H backstage segments? Like, always feels like at any moment he could like either come out of it and say something that he's not supposed to say. Like, I know he's like the ultimate professional, but I always feel like when Triple H is like doing anything, it just sometimes if you just watch Triple H, it just feels like something could happen. It's like, you ever seen that clip when he was like bopping his head to like one of the theme songs?
Yeah.
It's like, it just something about Triple H at the moment. As he gets older and older, I sort of feel there's that mischievous side that wants to get out and maybe make a slight comment, but feels he can't.
I think so. It's like you kind of wonder what's going on in his head.
It's like his face when he was doing that promo with the two arrows, sort of, so to speak. It was just like, he just was like, when he's saying it's like it's your funeral. It's like he's well into it, and he's like, but then in his mind,
that was a bit over the top though.
But that's what it feels like to me. It's like Triple H just lives it like 24/7. Like when he's asked to do something, he doesn't really do things half-assed. He's always like 100% in it, regardless if he looks dodgy or not. Like I felt when he was trying to separate The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, that looked awkward considering he's meant to have power and he had none, but still put 110% into it. Don't know.
Yeah, but he always does. Like it's never been like any different.
That's just what I mean. Though. I just find it great to watch. I like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just a really obvious comment, but we like to point out the obvious when we talk.
We do. It's what we're best at.
Exactly. So let's have a quick chat, I think maybe briefly on this, and then quickly move into GFW versus TNA. Don't know what I'm going for there. Don't sound like anybody. Rusev, Summer Rae, and Lana. I thought I'd just quickly touch on this.
Well. Dolph Ziggler is going to be back after SummerSlam, apparently.
Oh no!
So it means we've got to put up with this for at least another week.
Beautiful flag, though.
Beautiful flag. Best flag ever, that.
Why didn't it have one of his Rusev faces on it? That's my issue with it.
That would have made it. That would have made the segment. Would have made up for everything.
I might just do that. I might just make a few Rusev flags.
Well, that's what you want. Like, I'm sure he's been tweeting things like pictures of where his flag's been.
I don't want to know where his flag's been.
It's questionable where it's been. I'm sure one was in space, so I'm sure a few of these have been photoshopped.
Really? Oh dear. What did you think of the whole? It really did look like Summer Rae put some effort into that accolade that she put on Lana. It looked like it did do some damage. She applied that, I would say, expertly and much better than John Cena applies the STFU.
Well, I thought so when you first say I put it on, she didn't seem to know what to do, and then when she got them in position, it was like, bloody hell, calm down, you're going to break her back.
I know, she was going to make her humble.
Absolutely. Make her crumble.
Exactly. I still don't like I don't like any of the segments. I'm just purely there to see Rusev pull an epic face or do something crazy like he did this week, where he was going, yeah, that was.
That's just every week, though, isn't it?
Beautiful moment. I really should do just a review on Rusev face.
You should. I just want to see a montage.
I personally think that 2K would be awesome if they could put in 2K16 just Rusev face mode, and you can just apply any Rusev face.
That would be amazing. Proper emotions.
It would just be the best. It's needed. It's required. I don't know. That's the only thing I find entertaining about the segments. A lot of people are praising Summer Rae and Lana and sort of saying, these two are going at it and stuff. But the gimmick and the storyline doesn't give it any good value.
Well, the problem is though, we're waiting for this to kind of end and they're prolonging it. And with Lana saying that Dolph was going to be back after SummerSlam, I kind of thought all this was going to come to a head at the actual SummerSlam event. So I reckon you'll probably make a surprise return next week and we'll probably get that match. And the quicker it's over with, the better.
And have you found, with Lana, you've kind of lost the sort of reason why you really liked Lana as a character? I feel that I've lost I still quite like her in terms of what she does, but I don't, the whole that she was sort of in love with Dolph Ziggler thing, I really didn't think was good for her character. I like that she's standing up for herself a bit more now with Rusev, but I still feel she's lost the element of the kind of strong. It doesn't feel like anything like the character that was brought in originally, and that to me is ruining the whole thing with Lana. Everyone seems to just love her anyway, but I'm struggling with that.
Well, I like a character, but it's not the same character at all. It's completely different. It's not the same. I don't like it as much as strong, powerful Lana. But at the same time, it's you can't really not like her, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't think, oh God, I can't stand her. I like her, but it's so it's so far away from what originally made her really great, which was to be this strong, with the crushing and she's kind of still got that to a degree when she's not afraid to stand up to Rusev, but she always gets some sort of degraded or something. And then she does get one up, then she's all kind of ooh, it's not strong. Needs to strong.
That's what she's missing, but I don't know, they've made that change now. I can't see them going back to it.
Well, I'm just waiting for her to break the Russian accent. It's got to come soon, isn't it?
Do you think that'll make it any better, though?
It's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird.
I think they just need to do it now. They've changed her so much already. Just do it, get it over with, don't prolong it.
I'd prefer if they went down the route of actually us finding out that Rusev's American.
How would that work?
I don't know. Just think it'd be a nice twist to.
What would the twist be? Rusev being American? It doesn't solve anything with Lana.
Yeah, but it'd be more fun for me to have more segments with Rusev in.
Yeah, but what would being American do good for him?
He could have his face on American flag.
Wow.
What? This is Creative 101.
You know, like every week when we say, oh, we should totally book Raw, I think I've changed my opinion now.
What?
I'm not down with American Rusev.
It sounds good though, doesn't it? If you think, just say it again.
It sounds awful, American Rusev.
American Rusev. You could easily have a theme song like American Rusev.
Oh God!
And that sounded like Everything Is Awesome.
I thought that's what you're going for
I
there.
don't know.
It's definitely not awesome though for Rusev. Poor guy.
He's gonna love it. He's gonna pull some sort of face. He'd pull it out of the bag. He really would. He's got new trainers and everything at the moment.
Oh, life's good. Life is good when you've got new trainers.
He's got his little pumps. He's got his John Cena shoes on.
Oh, I hope no one stamps on them.
But I find it funny that he did come back and returned with shoes.
Wait, he doesn't want to hurt his feet again after Ryback.
With shoes and Bulgarian
shoes.
Bulgarian shoes.
There you go.
Everyone likes them. So yeah, I mean, I guess we come to the conclusion we're both not sold on this storyline.
No. I'm not sold on it. I'm not sold on your alternate version either.
But American Rusev!
Not gonna happen.
Should happen.
Nope.
I don't know. What I'll do is I'll think about this a little bit and I'll come up with a story of how we can make this work.
Right. There's your challenge then. Try and save it.
No, I will. I'll make it work. I'll come up with something. I'm not sure how. I might implement it into main event. That would really upset everybody.
That'd be awesome.
Did you book Rusev as an American? Why did you do that?
I'm sure they'd all love that. You'll prove us wrong. It'll be like the most loved gimmick in history.
Rusev, the happy American. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work. But
just loving his life.
Just loving life. That could be his tagline. Just loving life.
Just getting used to this American culture.
That's what they've done with Lana, though. Let's be
Wait,
honest.
exactly. That's what I mean.
This with Lana, they've just sent her around. Why can't they do it with Rusev? He'd be much more happy. Look at his little face.
So yeah, out of everyone to change, at least like Rusev would have been happy about it.
Did you ever used to watch Boy Meets World?
Little bit.
What about Rusev Meets World?
Well, that's what could be. Rusev meets the American world.
I've got spin-offs already. See, look, Total Divas moves out the way, and Rusev Meets World comes in.
Total Rusev.
Total Rusev. Hashtag Total Rusev. That's this week's hashtag. Right. Anyway, let's move on from our enjoyment of Rusev. I think we must. You could play a really good drinking game with the amount of times we've said Rusev.
Absolutely, it would be hammered. Be like the Brock Lesnar suplex game.
It should need. I said I might join you guys with when you do another game at some point.
It's brutal.
Well, L's doing it, so it's bound to be that.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So let's talk GFW TNA, and then we'll obviously touch on Chyna. There's no puns or anything intended.
I thought you were going for something there.
No, look. That's enough. Chyna's had enough torture over the period of time than us taking the mickey out of her. Okay.
She doesn't want you touching her.
I don't think anybody.
Leave her alone. You're so mean. Poor Chyna.
I am not Vince Russo. I might reach out to her like Vince Russo.
I don't know. Some of these things that you're booking now with Rusev.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Anyway, GFW TNA. Now, I haven't seen the show, so this will be comments made purely on what I'm thinking and what you've sort of clued me up on. But by the sounds of it, you mentioned to me that Bully Ray has magically left TV. Finally, the writing out has happened.
Well, he got attacked backstage. I think this was last week.
Did he now? Did he now? Did he get attacked backstage, or is this?
Well,
the law's gone already, has he?
He was lying passed out on the ground, so either he'd been attacked backstage,
or he'd had a massive session with Velvet Sky.
Yeah. Or he's been reading like TNA's plans for the next couple of months and he's just passed out at the thought of it. So he's been wrote off TV. And Jeff Jarrett's been asked to come in charge because like Dixie knows she can like trust him. And it's not like he's got like a company to plug or anything like that.
It's just it's bad, isn't it? It's terrible. The whole scenario that's come with this. Bully Ray didn't want to do it anymore. He's left. So they've obviously asked Jarrett. I actually did originally think Jarrett was going to be the power figure, but it's got more worrying recently because I'm beginning to come to the understanding that GFW is getting so much exposure out of this. You could say, what is it doing for TNA? I mean, is it GFW show now? Because I wasn't the main event. Possibly, could be wrong, haven't seen it, but wasn't the main event a King of the Mountain match? And I don't know, kind of people should have seen this all now. It went live on, in the, in the
that's the
States.
thing,
So
talking about it, you don't know because people watch it in the UK on Sunday.
you don't watch it on Challenge. I'll be honest with you guys, don't watch it on Challenge because they don't really think it's a great job what goes on with the editing there. The crowd is... I don't know if it's even edited on the US show, but when you watch it on Challenge, it's just so much editing that's gone into it. Like so much crowd noise and stuff. It devalues... It doesn't make me... I don't enjoy it. Have you felt that watching it on Challenge?
It's very like... you can really tell that they've done it. It's not like subtle changes like to the audio. Like it's like really piped in there, and especially when you're watching like the crowd because it's in like a smaller arena, so you can see like the crowd reacting, and it just doesn't match the audio whatsoever.
No, and when when you like listen to like WWE, one of the things I think that's always most exciting is like when you have like a big entrance. So like when Brock Lesnar's music, it hits, it proper hits, and they never dub. I find they never dubbed like the music that much, and so when that crowd eruption goes off, that's real. And in TNA, it's like I can't even hear the music sometimes because they've dubbed it so much. And then I'm looking at some big dude in the front row, munching on his hot dog, and he's not cheering or nothing. And then they've got like cheers and boos, and he's just like he's not having none of that. So it is well out of sync. But yeah, it's I'm feeling that Jarrett being in control, it kind of is all right, but what's it do for TNA? Jarrett's just going to be biased to GFW, and let's be honest, let's look at this, or the bigger picture here. If you're Dixie Carter, why would you put someone in control who's got a rival company?
Well, it's strange, isn't it? It's like Monday Night Wars, and Vince says to like Ted Turner, "Oh yeah, come be in charge, and like you can be in charge for the night. Just do whatever you want, make the matches you want, bring in the guys you want." And that's exactly what Jeff Jarrett's done. He thought, well, really? You're giving us like the whole night to do whatever I want with whoever I want? So the first thing he's done is he's come out, he's got a promo about JFW, and he's literally said the words of like he's building the greatest wrestling company in the world, GFW, standing in a TNA ring on a TNA show that's broadcasting as TNA Impact. So it just makes no sense whatsoever why you would give him that opportunity. And obviously Jarrett's he's took it, he's gone with it and says, right, well, they're giving us this chance. I'll bring in the JFW roster and we'll build it as TNA against GFW, or more like as it is, GFW against TNA. And the matches for Impact all this week have been GFW versus TNA.
But like, I mean, rightly so. If you're Jarrett, you got nothing to lose. You know, it was your old company. I think he's got like a minority share in the company still. But he's been given an opportunity to run with it and really push his company. And what better exposure than being on like TV and doing so? And he's going to do that, isn't he? He's definitely going to do it. He's going to push it. It doesn't sound like he's being reined in by anybody either. So he's obviously got some sort of negotiation where he can say what he likes to promote his own company. And obviously now he's bringing in the stars as well. It could lead to potentially maybe TNA have already been bought by Jarrett to take over. Could be that. But if it's not, and Dixie's running the show and she's still got the money and she's the one that's saying you can come here and you can bring your stars in, you can do what you like, and this GFW don't even have a TV deal as far as I'm aware at the moment, it's Ring of Honor that have the other TV deal, then, well, I mean, why are you being dictated to by Global Force Wrestling?
Well,
logic? Anything?
There is no logic whatsoever. It's just one of them Dixie situations. You don't know.
One of those dicky situations.
Exactly. It's one of them dicky situations as well. You don't know what's going on and just what they're thinking, the people in charge.
It's a real, baffler. It's like, I'm like thinking to myself, how is this so? As far as I know, like I said, we've got a King of the Mountain main event, and obviously the belt still, as far as I know, unless they've changed it, is still branded as a TNA belt.
It is, and Jarrett said this week that belt is not going to be the GFW title. It's going to be the title that goes all around the world and defended in every promotion. But again, looking at the belt, it's got TNA logo right on the middle of it.
Yeah, they need to change that. I mean, even if it's going to have TNA logo on it, it's not Global Force Wrestling belt.
Exactly, so...
Make it as have a King of the Mountain logo on it. Have Jarrett's face on it.
Well, they even called it, in the main event, when they were, doing the titles and things, it was, the KOTM title. So they didn't even give it, the full name, and just abbreviated it.
Well, I mean, if you put something like that on the belt, at least, that would look alright. At the moment, what I see it as is the old television title, and I don't see it as anything else. It's not prestigious enough.
It's not, and I think that'd be better just making up a new title, keep it all fresh, like GFW is. Don't just bring back a title that nobody seems to want and that gets rebranded all the time. Well,
I have to say, if you think about the guys he did bring over, I think obviously the standout is a Justin Gabriel. He was changed his name now.
He's I can't remember his name. Someone Black.
Is it Tyler Black?
No, was that not
Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins, yeah.
What's his name then? It's like Black, isn't it?
I'm sure it's something Black.
Someone's going to say it in the comments. And then someone will have a go at me because they're saying Tyler Black.
What I would say is, when you watch this week's Impact, watch the movie Hits Off the Ladder to Bobby Lashley.
Good.
It was brutal.
Oh, okay. Did Lashley handle it?
But he didn't really have much of a choice. He kind of hit he does a 450 splash. Instead of doing it off the top of the ladder, he kind of done it halfway, so he wasn't fully in control of it. I'm sure he kneed Lashley in the face as he come down.
I was lucky he did it to Lashley, because I think Lashley's the sort of guy that can maybe, as you say, might not had to take it, but he's about the only one that probably could and just live to tell the tale and get back up.
Absolutely, I think it just looked really awkward being halfway off the ladder. I think if you'd done it from the top, it'd been a lot more in control.
So Lashley didn't I know Lashley didn't win that match, but he's the destroyer. He's the guy they built up for X amount of time, making him really credible. You see what I mean? You're already losing the battle. You're letting your guy who's MMA, he is their equivalent to a Lesnar powerhouse who's controlling, dominating, and he's already slipped up in the King of the Mountain match.
Well, that's what I mean. You couldn't say Lesnar losing to someone else that's just come in from another company or even part of another company. It just wouldn't happen. Well,
this is what I mean. This is what concerns me about TNA as a model. I mean, where did Ethan Carter stay in all of this? Did he get involved?
He was not involved. He had his own promo earlier in the show with Matt Hardy.
So he was focusing on current TNA storyline still.
Yeah, so they had everything going on with JFW, and that was the mainstay of the show. But then aside from all that stuff, you did have Ethan Carter and Matt Hardy going on about sort of their match from the previous week.
So see if. I mean, not to try and book it. I mean, we've already booked Rusev earlier, maybe failed, but
absolutely failed.
I think we can make it work. I mean, in terms of, surely it would have been better if you make Jarrett the Law and your world champion comes out and disagrees with this. Surely, why on earth would your world champion be busy with other things when you're finding out that someone's potentially coming in and bringing in GFW wrestlers, and you're the TNA World Champion. They're on your soil, your turf, and you're not wanting to go face to face with Jeff Jarrett. First things first. That's my business agenda straight away.
Well, he did have a little segment with Jarrett, but it was backstage, and it was Jarrett coming up to say it to him, and congratulating him on being world champion, and saying that he'd always seen something in him, and then Carter going back against him and saying he didn't need his approval and things like that. So there wasn't too much there, but there was a little element of that.
I'm confused by it. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about it. When I first found out about GFW versus TNA, I was like thinking this is going to be quite cool. But the more I think about it, it's cool, but it's cool for GFW. It's not so cool for TNA.
It is. It's great for JFW. It's just not great for TNA.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if they get any of the Bullet Club guys down there.
I still don't think so. I think they're under like contract with other companies. So I think they'll be at live events, but I can't see them on TV.
Quick one before we move on to China. How on earth did Liger get his deal with WWE to have his match? Has he got a unique deal with New Japan? I've heard that he might have something a bit different.
I have no idea.
Because I was amazed that this was pulled off. Like, you know, the WWE never make that effort really anymore to try and integrate like New Japan. But I'm gathering maybe Finn Balor might be able to pull strings.
Possibly. It could be like down to something like that and his involvement. But I didn't realise he was like still under contract, so that's kind of news to me. But it's like what we've just been talking about JFW going over TNA. Do you see Jushin Liger going over Tyler Breeze?
I was just
being
thinking,
Tyler Breeze, I would say I could see it.
If I was booking it, I'd probably put Liger for the win. Because I think Liger deserves it. Liger deserves. Well, then again, Sting deserved it.
See, deserve means nothing in this business.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, well, Liger deserves like a good... And I think Tyler Breeze could be the guy to give him a really good match in WWE, and it would be like, you know, something for Liger. But it never works out like that 9 times out of 10. So, he could, but you'd probably tend to fall on the side of that WWE will side with their guy and make sure he gets something out of it.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? Difficult one to pick.
It's a difficult one to pick because of like it being Tyler Breeze, because he has lost quite a bit. So you could argue that a win here from would be like really good and get him back on track. But at the same time, I don't know. I think the fact that they're bringing him in, maybe they could like go with him for a win on this one. And because Breeze isn't like a main like guy at the moment in the company, then it wouldn't hurt him too much if he was to lose it.
All I will say is that I definitely want to hear Liger's theme. Please don't change that. You heard the Liger theme, yeah?
I can't remember it at the minute.
Liger. The Jushin Liger. You must have heard that.
You know what it is? I don't even recognise it now. I'm sure I've heard it.
Brilliant. It's really like typical, like, I don't know. It just feels very New Japanish.
Wait, it from what you've just said there, that's like what I would expect from New Japan.
It's like computer game, Street Fighter style.
Oh, that actually sounds quite awesome. But I don't know if WWE would use that.
It will sound weird if it's played at NXT.
It'd be cool if they use it.
You probably won't, but I love Liger themes. Google Liger themes and see what you can get. But yeah.
I seen a video earlier of like, speaking of themes, like Cesaro. Like, how do you feel about his theme now? Is it time to change it? Does it fit anymore? Because I was watching a like clip of a live event, and Cesaro's like, he come out, he says like, turn my mic on and turn my music off because it's bloody awful. So
well,
I don't think he's happy with it either. I think like it might be time to change that.
Well, you do say that, but it has grown on me a bit. The sirens are getting a bit better. I like the sirens.
Itself, I just don't like the sirens.
I kind of like the sirens at the beginning. If there was something a bit more to his song. His song's a bit too intense for him, but I think sometimes it does work. It's like one of those songs that if you want to make an impact, if it comes on, you know he's on his way. But Cesaro's not that guy.
It's just very Scott Steiner with the sirens. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, I think you might see in the next few weeks reasons why I'm backing up what I'm saying. But yeah, I kind of get it. I kind of preferred all these old themes, but I'm beginning to come round to the sirens a little bit.
It's grown on us since like you first debuted it, but I'm still not a fan of it. It's just the sirens. I like the rest, like the theme itself. Like that'll get stuck in my head.
I don't think it suits him as a person. I think because obviously his personality is quite calm. I mean, this is really an intense theme, and it's like, is he in the ring, yeah, he's quite intense, I guess, but not that intense. Not like out of control. That's the way his theme song kind of makes me think.
Well, he said Tyson Kidd come out with headphones because he couldn't stand the music.
Did he? So I kind of think, it doesn't suit him as a character. But I mean, yeah, he seems to manage to get away with it still. I think he just gets away with it because he's as good as he is. So we'll see. I've expected them to change it for quite some time, and they still haven't. So they must be leaving it because it's like memorable.
It is. I'll give you that. Like when it hits, you know, like who it is, who's coming out.
You do, but you don't think that's a great thing.
You don't. That's my issue with it. I think he deserves something better.
Like I think, like when they gave Kevin Owens his theme, that theme's a good theme.
That fits. That's like the thing. You can tell that's Kevin Owens' theme. The Cesaro one, it doesn't fit his character.
Finn Balor's got the same style. Very good. Even like Tyler Breeze suits Tyler Breeze. It's just that thing. It doesn't suit Cesaro. I think maybe you remember his original theme.
The one he had before that?
One where he was like United States champ.
Yeah.
That worked, fitted him pretty well.
I like that theme.
And obviously the other theme, the Real Americans theme, the crowd loved that theme because they used to be able to sing along with it. So he had to have popular themes.
I think it's just this one. It didn't fit his character at the time. And I think as he's like grown now, I think he deserves something that like really fits him because he's got everything else together. Like we started saying it like the start of We Talk. So he's got the look, he's got the moves, he's got everything that you could possibly want. Just he needs decent music.
I'll give him that Samoa Joe theme.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm still not keen on either.
They've changed it, haven't they, now?
I think they have changed it. It's a little bit better now.
I haven't heard it, but I didn't mind that when it first came in. I think that actually suits Cesaro a bit better than it does Joe. That's what I mean. It's like the tempo of it. I don't think that Cesaro's intense enough for... It's too like... And then that bit is like... It's like... It sounds like Daffy Duck or Donald Duck there, but it's like, yeah. I don't know. Discuss. Comments below. Cesaro's theme song. Keep it or ditch it.
I would ditch it.
So last but not least, I guess we are moving into reaching out and reaching out to Chyna. That sounds like a film.
Well, follow up to One Night in China.
Have you watched that?
What?
One Night in China.
What?
Is that one of her films?
Possibly. I'm sure I recognise it from somewhere. Is that not it?
Is that one of your VHSs that you've got?
I told you last week I got rid of the VHSs.
Ah, right. Okay.
I need to be like all what it is. Like the future now, just downloadable content.
If you think in context of what Chyna's done over the period since she left wrestling, and you've just come out with the reference, is that a follow-up to One Night in China?
Yeah. Well, she's in China now, though. Shit. That's where she's doing
so
these vlogs from.
Straight about it. Yeah. Well, she's in China now, isn't she? She is, but there could be other references made to this as well.
Good.
Jesus. Lost
Am I playing
on
dumb
him.
here?
Lost
or am I just
on
dumb?
him when he talks. I'm not sure at the moment.
Maybe I'm a good actor. Maybe I'm Stephen Amell.
Very good at selling it, yes. Selling it like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Huh?
Okay, fine. Anyway, break the so-called news that you found out about Chyna.
Well, that's the thing. It was news I broke about it, but then it turns out it's not very true. Because X-Pac had come out and says that there was an altercation between Chyna and Triple H at Roddy Piper's funeral, and it ended with securities trying to take Chyna down and have her escorted out of the building. So everyone kind of picked up on this in the media, and it was like a big thing. Everyone having to go at Chyna, saying, that's not the time and place to do it. Like, how could you make a scene at like a funeral where you're supposed to be paying your respects? And what's actually come out since then is that X-Pac was completely lying about it, and everyone's backed up Chyna and says that was not the case at all. Like, there was no security intervention or anything like that. And Chyna put a video out, which I haven't seen yet, but I've read like the details on it. And she says that she just walked up to Triple H and whispered to him, like just a private conversation, that the things that she said at the time and the videos that she done a while back, having a go at him, then it was just because like the the place that she was in at the time. Like, she didn't mean anything, and it was the sort of drink and drugs and things that she'd been going through. So Triple H didn't appear to react to it or anything, and it was just like her just getting that off her chest, which I think is something that she's needed to do for a while if you've watched her videos. So it was probably like really good for Chyna to do that, and I think it shows like that she wants to make a change and finally move past them kinds of things. But then for someone like X-Pac to just be a complete dick and make up stories like that, just because he has like issues with her, then it's just not on.
Well, no, it's not. And like I think I said to you before we went live about this, she's looked like for a while like she's like, you know, she got hit seriously hard by being almost like DX communicated by everybody. Like, I don't know if she even talks to any of them anymore. I always thought that she probably talked to Sean out of them, but it sounds like even like there's no contact really with any of them. And you know, she's been given pretty hard hand in terms of, like, you know, from a WWE perspective. She's not obviously going to be put in the Hall of Fame. They're not really interested to try and get her involved in the slightest. Obviously for reasons that what she did outside of WWE. But I mean, if you think outside of just, you know, the standard, not being involved in the industry, she's lost like all of her friends. She doesn't really have anything. I think she told this story to Russo, I think it was. She told him that there was, I think I've mentioned this on We Talk before, but she apparently, it was after an event, a live event. She was actually dating, I think, Triple H at the time, but Triple H was hanging out more with, like, you know, Vince, Stephanie, and all them lot. And I mean, yeah, she basically was waiting for him, and she always used to do that at the end of, like, the night. And he was talking apparently with Vince. The arena was getting more empty. All of the, you know, the talent were leaving. She was like last one there, and then I think like one of the people in the arena come up to her and said, "Why are you still here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for Hunter." And he was like, "I've just seen him leave on the private jet with Vince and Stephanie and everybody," and he basically just left her stranded. And then she had to try and work out her own way to get back, and you know, she's just like completely rejected. And then after that onwards, he was like hanging around more with Steph. And so I don't know if there's how true that is. I'm sure there's probably elements of it that aren't, because at this time I think she was at like her worst. But yeah, I mean, if you're treated like that, pretty harsh considering she pretty much hang around with Triple H, Waltman, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, Sean from the very offset. And I imagine it being like the clique at that sort of time around that sort of area. It would be very difficult to hang around with anyone else. I heard The Rock and people saying it was very difficult to, like, you know, break down that wall of them lot. They were quite against, you know, certain people getting pushed and stuff, particularly when Sean was more around, I think, because Sean was his like power trip. But yeah, like, I don't know. She definitely got hit hard with it all, so you kind of can sympathise with her quite a lot, and she definitely looked close to going off the deep end at one point.
She did. Well, that's what I mean by the videos. Like, when you watch them, like, you can tell that she was like really going through some hard times. And just the fact that she was making the videos, it was kind of like cry for help.
Well, yeah, and then you don't, like, there's a lot of people that I felt just kind of manipulating the situation. So obviously Waltman's kind of done it a bit, but Russo has always been like that, I feel. Always likes to get in there. So
it's just good to see, like, people have come out in support of her and, like, showing like X-Pac for being like what he is, and like none of this being true. So it's good to see that. Whereas in WWE, I think the people there sort of just ignoring her and stuff, you wouldn't really get that. But it's good to see like other friends and things actually coming out and supporting her through it.
Well, that's what I mean. She's kind of been erased in terms of WWE. They don't try and mention her at all. She almost doesn't exist. And I think, again, the Hulk Hogan style of things, it's like, how do you do that? How, I mean, you know, you can't erase people. It's not nice. It's not, it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. It's like someone just saying like they're going to erase you from like YouTube. I mean, how would you feel about that?
Well,
you spend all that effort, time, wanting to build yourself, and you finally do, you become something, and then all of a sudden they're like, you don't exist.
Exactly. And if you're someone where you're of that age where, you know, your time as an active wrestler has passed you, then you want to look back on like the good times and like what you accomplished. And when they go around and they just sort of delete people from history, then it takes all that away. I think it's really, really harsh.
Well, particularly I think as well with her. I know like it's harsh to put in like, you know, with the Hall of Fame stuff, but that's the ultimate goal now. If you're a wrestler, you want to be in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, she was very instrumental in terms of being a woman in wrestling. I think she was the first ever women's participant in the Royal Rumble and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, she played a massive part, and they've really, you know, they're not even willing to go there and look at it anymore. And I think someone made a really good reference about, you know, yeah, she's done like things that potentially aren't PG, but you've got to look around at some of the stuff that some of the other WWE stars have done that they're happy to acknowledge, and then you kind of think to yourself, well, you know, this is a real contradiction in itself, and it comes back to the Hogan issue. That's a contradiction because they've done other things acknowledging, you know. So WWE's kind of fights are always a little bit, you can't always side with them.
Absolutely. I think it's really harsh when you like think of everything that you did, in terms of like the big focus that was on her in that Attitude Era, like because she was a big part of it, not just as a singles wrestler, but obviously with DX being a huge part of that. So to imagine it without her, it's just weird.
Well, yeah, I always kind of think of DX. The main DX was always Triple H, Shawn, and Chyna, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you watch any sort of video package they've put out in the last couple of years, like where it's featured Triple H and Shawn, Chyna's just not even been included in that.
Yeah, so that's bad because that's what you remember from the like old school Raws. But yeah, I don't know. I think with her, it's I don't think it'll change, regardless of what she said to Triple H. I don't think they'll be acknowledging her anytime soon.
I don't think so. I think with the stuff she's done post WWE, I think it's kind of hard for them to promote her because of that. But at the same time, when you think of the WWE being the ones that sort of pushed into things like Playboy in the first place, then
yeah, exactly.
It was them at the beginning, and they've pushed others into it, like Sable, she won, Tori.
Yeah, they've done it with a few, and they instigate it, and then they don't want to be seen near it. So
that's the thing. They say like you can't like put someone in and then tell people to sort of make them aware of them so they can go and like Google them or whatever because of what they might find. But it's got to be the same thing for people like Sable and stuff. They can't really promote her now, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It's one thing for one person and something completely different for another.
It just depends who you've offended, isn't it? And I think that the thing is that she offended Triple H, and obviously being married to Steph, the boss doesn't really want someone like that getting back involved who used to date Triple H. So
just backstage politics, that's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I feel sorry for her. I'll be honest, I do feel sorry for her. And yeah, I hope nothing. Obviously, she comes across very down in a lot of her stuff. So I hope she takes a turn for the better and finds all the positives out of things and not just the negatives.
I hope so. I think she's on the right track now, and I think as long as she like continues with that and she doesn't let these things get her down, then I think hopefully like we'll say get back to a good place.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So I guess that it was really like an emotional ending to We Talk this week.
It was.
It was. So yeah,
I'd say I was being emotional. I was doing me Stephen Amell.
I thought you was. I thought you. So I guess really to kind of like end it on a high. Have you got any sort of shameless plugs?
I have actually. If you're looking for something a bit different, me and Elle have been playing Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris. So it's free on PlayStation Plus this month. So if anyone wants to download that and get stuck, then you can check out the playthrough that we're doing. It's up on my channel and Elle's, so check that out. It's a good laugh. It's a really good game. So I definitely say if you get it, being free, get a couple of friends on there and just play through it. Awesome game to play through.
So that's Lara Croft and the Temple of Miley Cyrus, yes?
Of Miley Cyrus, yes.
Right, okay.
I think Chris is in there as well somewhere.
Ah, that sounds like a definite Temple of Miley Cyrus.
With Chris?
With Chris. Now, sounds good. Definitely go check it out. We like seeing stuff that's different, so you got to go check it. I'll try and link it in the description box below.
Nice one.
Try my best.
How about you? What's coming up? Are you gonna get Saturday night's main event Saturday?
Yeah, we will try. If it goes up, it's really good, actually, to be honest with you. If it comes out the way it had originally, it will be very good. Awesome match on the card there. Something that should or could have been saved for a pay-per-view, but I think it was worth dropping in. So, yeah, if it gets sorted, it will work out a treat. Obviously, we're building towards SummerSlam now, so can't really miss a week.
You can't. Not when you've got competition from the likes of the J-Man.
I know. I mean, Beach Boy Brock Lesnar.
Bad Boy Beach Boy.
He could be called that, to be honest. He could be called the Bad Boy Beach Boy Brock Lesnar.
It suits him. I'm all with that. Don't know about American Rusev, but Bad Boy Beach Boy Brock Lesnar.
American Rusev would fit in J-Man's universe mode perfectly. And have you seen the meth addict, which is Dean Ambrose?
That's an interesting one.
He wears pajamas to the ring as well. I'm sure the J-Man will love my summing up of his attires. His attires are crazy.
So let's get this straight. We've got a meth addict wearing pajamas as Dean Ambrose.
That is mine and Brodos's assumption of the character, yes.
Well, in that case, I think like American Rusev and this Beach Boy Brock Lesnar, I think they'll all fit in. No worries there.
CJ, if you're listening, I've just given you gold, yeah? American Rusev. It's a treat that's waiting to happen. I
can't believe you're giving that away.
And if you do win the ratings war with American Rusev, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know.
You're getting very somber now as well.
A bit worried about that now. Now I've given away American Rusev.
You're just giving him away. You've drafted him away.
Anyway, yeah, go check out the J-Man's universe mode. It is pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Bad Boy, Beach Boy, Brock Lesnar, I love that. Is my favourite character on it. He wears some crazy attire.
Well, it makes a change. We're always saying the same thing, so it's good to see he's mixing things up a little bit.
That's what I like about it. That I like it when people go for stuff that's a bit different, because obviously you see quite a lot of things that are all the same. No one wants to kind of, branch out a bit, and that's the best bit, when people just go for it. So, yeah, man, check it out. Check out Jay's Universe Mode. Make sure you do the J-Man. And big shout out to him. He's always a big supporter of mine. So, yeah, thank you very much. And he came close to beating the clock challenge once, I believe.
Yeah, multiple times. Although he did ultimately fail in every single time.
And he's very proud of jobbing to Smack Talks, I think.
He is. He lasted the longest, so there is something. But I don't know, will that stay in place by the end of it? Who knows?
I reckon he's going to beat you one day.
One day. If he plays us every single day for the next few centuries, maybe, I might have an off day.
There you go, he's made a challenge to you now. So Jay, you just got to take that up now. Play him every day until you beat him.
Yeah, it's still not going to happen.
Ooh, fighting talk from...
I think we'll leave it for 2K16. New game, new challenge.
Oh, I can't wait to see some CAWs in that. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And you might be made to eat your words.
Yeah, I doubt it.
All right, fine then.
I think I'll have more of a chance of getting beat up Eva Marie. Maybe we should use her. She could be his secret weapon.
All right. Calm down, cocky bollocks. Jesus.
I beat you, didn't I? No, I didn't. Damn.
And on that note, yeah, just because it's that easy, yeah, he didn't beat me. I beat him.
One of the matches, I beat you in the rest.
Are you going to catch us later? No, just end now.
I don't want to end it now. Not on that note.
It's a good note. It's positive.
It's a terrible note.
So, yeah, are you going to catch us later?
I guess I will. I'll catch you later.
Yes, this is Smack Talks and Delzinski signing out, and obviously, just so you guys know, winner.
Loser.
Hi, wrestling fans and gamers. Velvet Sky here, and I just want to say I've been hearing a rumor that Delzinski.com is the best place for video gaming and wrestling content.